ago, and it wanted me to be vertical. And I was like, no, not ready for that today. So we're here. Let's get turned around. I'm leaving. I'm starting at Chipotle because Colin stopped me. And I hadn't gotten him anything for his birthday yet, which was, I think, a month ago. So I hadn't seen him. So I got him something to eat at Chipotle. He needed something to eat. So, yeah, I got a lot to say today. I listened to Natalie's live stream from this morning. Ooh, something else is coming here. All right. I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to say. I'm mad. I'm upset. So, today I'm here because of all the articles and all the people involved in covering up sexual assault of the children in the Delphi Academy and in Scientology. There are lawsuits going on right now that prove the fact. There. Yeah, I'm a little angry today. All right. Okay, it's nice and I'm coming late. Okay, moving the camera, hang on. Gotta extend my, you can see me in the mirror there, or the window. All right, there we go. I'll get, let's get all straight, ready to go. Get out some water. All right, who's here today? Hang on. I finally made it. Hey, Cricket and Scooter Mom. You should check out the Delphi Academy lawsuit right now. Hi, Irish. How you doing? Hey, y'all. Did y'all get to watch Natalie this morning? I watched it on the way here. I always save it for my drive. I didn't get to completely finish it, but I got enough in. I got through to the Ashton Kutcher and Abercrombie and Fitch stuff. Wow. 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 Well, you're going to hear about it right now. So, first, we're going to start with the cover-up of a Scientology school that allowed a sexual predator to attack their children, and instead of turning them into the police, they gave him a glowing recommendation to go to another school just to get him out of their hair. And he continued attacking the children at the new school, and now he's in prison for it. And one of the children at the Delphi Academy, the Scientology school, is suing because they allowed it to happen and continue. Thank goodness one of those children who probably isn't a Scientologist, because you're not allowed to sue other Scientologists. I heard about the daycare cover-up. I don't even know if it was the Delphi Academy. There was another, it was called a daycare, where the same exact thing happened. So I don't know if it's the same story, but they regularly cover up for Scientologists who assault children in that intimate way. I'm not going to say it out loud. It's disgusting. We all know Danny Masterson did it for over 20 years. You know what was funny? Before I listened to Natalie's broadcast, somehow we got on the subject as we were leaving, as I was getting ready to go, about Ashton Kutcher and his involvement in the sexual assault of children in Scientology and the Delphi Academy. There's a lawsuit going on right now because they allowed those children to be assaulted and did nothing. Oh, she heard me. Perfect timing. That's what I'm going to hit them with from now on when I see kids. That's what I'm going to get him. Hey, Ocean Ways, thank you so much, because I wasn't out for a good 2 to 3 weeks for my teeth and all kinds of other stuff. And when I don't get out here to protest, I lose subscribers. I lost 30 just the first 2 weeks I wasn't here. And then after my Saturday night discussion, I lost 3 more, probably because there was at least one person that came at me in my comments. And I'm like, you obviously didn't watch my whole live. You just picked what you wanted to hear and was upset about it. Awesome. Yeah, good to have you. Today I'm angry. I'm usually pretty easygoing until something really gets me upset. And on the way here, I listened to Natalie talking about this new lawsuit. Now, like I said, I had heard that there was a daycare that was ran by Scientology, and there was a predator in that daycare, and they covered it up, didn't turn him into the authorities, and sent him to another school to attack those children, and now he's suing Scientology because they allowed it to happen. Yeah, there's a lawsuit right now because they allowed a sexual predator in a Scientology daycare to continue his attacks and not turn him in. That'll get people's attention. So now I'm talking at the people who are walking by. So we'll turn it a little bit. I'm going to back up a little bit because I'm able to get more sidewalk that way. And the door sometimes. Let's go this way. Let's see. No, I think I'm too centered. You know what? I'm going to move offset a little bit. I'm moving the camera. Moving. We'll do this. I have a lot to say, and I think some people are going to hear it. And I want to see people coming. Oh, I think my daughter just did a DoorDash. I got the update. All right, let me get... Let's see. Let's move. I'm moving the camera again, guys. Sorry. I'm usually not this worried about what I'm filming. Okay, there we go. This way I've got... You guys know I'm worried about safety. So being right here, I'll show you. I'm going to move the camera. So I've got my wagon, the tree, my tripod, and behind me is a bike rack. So they can only come at me from the left, and I'll see them. Man, now there's an open parking space. I was going to park right out front. Yes, I am. I'm angry. Because Natalie started crying while she was reading it, and I did too. Because I can't stand to hear that stuff. I can't. It makes me angry. I knew about, like I said, I knew about the Scientology daycare that allowed the predator to continue to attack children and never turned them into the police. And now that one of those children is suing that daycare / school for instead of turning him into the police, they gave him a glowing recommendation to go to a new school where he continued to attack children. Now he's in prison for it, but only because it was a regular school and not a Scientology school. When he was attacking children in the Scientology school, they never turned him into the police. And that's just one of many, many stories. And I'm being loud because I want people to hear me walking by. I don't really care about the people inside. I want people to know what these people cover up inside and why the hell are we not getting investigations for it. They saw the Danny Masterson trial and what came out. They're gonna see this lawsuit with this previous child who was SA'd for a long time because they wouldn't turn him in. Because they don't go to the police in Scientology. And if you're a victim, it's your fault, even if you're a child. I mean, I haven't made all my signs yet. One of my signs is going to be Scientology covers up SA of children. And I'm going to have a QR code on it or some way to link to Miriam's story. So I'm looking into these QR codes. Hey, Pop Smurf, glad you're here. Anybody that's done gifted memberships, I got to go in and figure out how I can look at that again, because I know several that did, but I can't remember all. I don't know why I didn't do this before. People that were given cash apps, I was making them sponsors of one of my trips. Well, the gifted memberships do the same thing. So tomorrow night, um, Gary Mackey will be the sponsor. I didn't put a sponsor on this video because of the title. I didn't know if somebody who supported me would want their name, plus there wasn't enough room too, would want their name in this title, so I left no sponsor. Uh-oh, hides my lyrics to my fave song. Oh, you guys. Hey, Haggis Basher. If you haven't seen Natalie's show this morning, that's why I'm fired up. I listened to it on the way here. And, and there's more news about Ashton Kutcher's involvement in Hollywood, sex scandals. There's no proof yet, but when he was a model at Abercrombie and Fitch, there was some sort of shenanigans going on that may link to Epstein. So she even said, well, so did he learn this young? Did he think it was okay because it was happening as soon as he was a model? Is that why? And they think, well, did Demi Moore, make him be part of the child trafficking charity to make amends? I wasn't well for 2 days, so that's why I haven't been around. Oh, I haven't either. I had a lot going on. I haven't checked your email back, Scooter Mom, but I had a lot go on this weekend. Or this week. So this was the first day. So Monday. What did I have Monday? Oh. I was supposed to have an MRI x-ray, but I had to go it was like 47 minutes away because I have that implant in my back. So I have to go to a special place now to get an MRI. Well, I was late. By the time I stood in line for 10 minutes waiting to check in. So by the time I filled out everything, they couldn't do it. But they did the x-ray and this was my neck from my car accident in 1988. Well, I haven't seen x-rays of it since 1988. And my neck was completely straight back then, and I'm wondering if it's better. So anyway, so not only do we have Danny Masterson, who is Ashton Kutcher's best friend, but now we have a direct link to Ashton Kutcher and bad shenanigans going on in Hollywood with other people and the P. Diddy and all of that. So, I'm of the mind that you have two kinds of people in Hollywood, or I'm just going to say celebrities, because it's the music world now, it's Hollywood now, it's all of it. You've either sold your soul to the devil and you're doing all that horrible, nasty crap, or you're not. That's why Topher, I forget his last name, who was on that 70s show with Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson, he never hung out with them. He wanted nothing to do with them. Because even Fez, Valmer Valderrama, I don't know his name, he was linked to sleeping with a Sea Org member. So at the very least, he had a Sea Org member doing something she wasn't supposed to do because they weren't married. So, and I don't know what age she was. And I don't have the exact facts about this, because I heard Hollywood, and politics, yes. Because people get power and get money and they don't know what to do with it. They regular fun isn't good enough for them anymore. So now they got to do all of this nasty crap that's coming out that they thought would never come out because they were powerful and rich. Well, there ain't no amount of money that's going to save you from the crap that you've done. They grab them by the cat. Yeah. Yep. Now, I've been around soldiers for 40 years now, and I've heard guys say worse than that, and they would never actually do it. They're just being jerks with their guy friends. That's one thing. Because my husband even said, that's not what we were talking about. He's like, you know, when he was single after we broke up in high school, he's like, you know, us guys, you know, we're being guys, but we would never do the things that, you know, attacking women or you know, doing anything like that. And I go, well, yeah, because you're normal. Because most of the population is fairly normal. But, you know, what upsets me, hi, Queen, what upsets me is in this modern age with the surveillance and cameras and technology we have, how are we allowing the SA trafficking, I don't know how to say it, the sex trafficking of minors and adults in this country, or in the world, but in this country. Do you know? So the way the border's been working the last 4 years is a child shows up with a phone number on their arm, written on their arm, or a piece of paper. They show up with another adult, and that gets them across the border. They either are sent back across the border to bring another adult across, or they go to somebody else. Hi, are you the one that was staff here before?
I never
No.
worked here.
No, oh, okay.
I'm hungry.
You look similar.
I'm gonna go eat dinner at 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Go refill soda water.
Awesome. Awesome.
Why?
Oh no, you just look similar to a guy I talked to that I told him to come back, and he hasn't yet. That he said he was so staff in here. They get $200 a week. You know that's not $800 a month isn't a living. If they make money, then they don't get paid, and they work 100 hours a week. It's slave labor.
Yeah.
So this guy was staff here and going to another church to get fed because he couldn't afford to feed himself.
Yeah.
So
they should feed him here.
Yeah. Well, they do the Sea Org, the ones that they house. But if they don't make money, they eat beans and rice 3 times a day. So, and when we're standing here, they're not making any money.
They're part of them, too.
You need to check out the new lawsuit against the Delphi Academy for sexual assault of children that they allowed to happen and didn't turn it into the authorities. Well, I'm going to hit them with that for a while. For a while. Because I'm like, I used to just have to sit and watch this stuff that people talked about on YouTube, but now I'm out here and now I can talk about it. Good. I'm going to go watch it because he might have some more info on that. Because I heard about this, the Delphi Academy is a school, but I also heard another story a while back about a daycare. They said daycare, not school. And the daycare, it may be the same story, it was just different words, where there was a sexual predator in the daycare and they didn't do anything about it. And I heard a little more detail as far as they never told the parents. They never told the parents that their children they never told the parents that their children were sexually assaulted in a Scientology daycare center. Never told them. They just moved that guy out to another school where he continued. So I think it might be the same story, but they just used daycare for school maybe. Unless it's happened twice, which does not surprise me. Yeah, it was in California, of course. Well, and then we all know about Danny Masterson, drugging and sexually assaulting upwards of 10 women for 20 years. He started in the late 90s. And that's what we were talking about when I left, is the kind of character that, thank you, the kind of character that Hyde played and Ashton Kutcher played on that 70s show. Ashton was an immature jerk, and Hyde was a misogynistic jerk against women. And he also, have you guys ever seen the movie Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta? There's a scene in there. Okay, so they changed places so that John Travolta, who was like an FBI agent and a good guy, somehow they surgically switched faces, and now it was the bad guy. And his daughter John Travolta's daughter was being attacked in a car in front of the house, and it was Danny Masterson, and he broke the window and drug him out of the car. And she was saying no, and he was pushing her. And I'm like, perfect role for him. Perfect role. And so we know that's exactly how it was. And we know about these other victims. There's one in Canada. If you haven't heard this story, this is the one that really upset me the most. It was around 2000-ish. And there was 2 rap parties going on in like this hotel bar lounge area in Canada. And one of them was, it was some sort of Vampire 3000 or whatever. I don't know the exact title. Yeah. 2 Scientos. Okay, so I'm right. There was a daycare that did it, and there was a Scientology Delphi Academy school that did it. I'm not surprised. There's probably more. This place is a haven for child predators. They cover up child predators in here all the time. How many more stories do we need? How many more lawsuits and criminal investigations do we need for the government or this law enforcement to be like, maybe we should investigate these people? Thanks, Mama Squirrel. I'm fired up today. I heard Natalie's live this morning, and I remembered a lot of these stories I heard when I was deep diving. And that's what I'm going to be talking about the next couple days. I'll probably be here tomorrow night too, I hope. Tomorrow night, I'm wanting to go vertical so I can get this story out to more people. So just to warn you, I'm going vertical tomorrow night so that I can get in people's shorts about this, and we can spread this disgusting behavior of Scientology to other people. So I might need at least a mod, but I don't have to have a mod. My chat's usually pretty small. I'll take it. I'll deal with it myself. But if anyone, so if anybody, or if somebody just wants to mod for that show tomorrow night, that would be great. So anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, so not only did we have the 3 Jane Does that filed charges on Danny Masterson, and 2 of them won, and he's in prison, but they had 2 other people, victims, testify. One in the mistrial and one in the trial where he was convicted. So that's 5 victims. Well, people in the know of at least 5 more. 2 of them were in Canada. This is where it gets totally, Danny Masterson's behavior gets totally disgusting, and I'm pretty darn sure there was other people involved. There were names dropped in that discussion. I just don't remember. You know how I am. I cannot remember names. But there was other celebrities that we think were involved. So this is what happened. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to try to be here for graduation maybe. I don't know. Or Saturday. Hey, check YouTube. We've got cameras on all the orgs. I didn't know he was Sea Org until he turned. He's an old Sea Org. See, I don't know if they're Sea Org until they turn and it's silver, because they hardly ever come outside. So anyway, here's the story. So, these 2 women were staying in the hotel. The woman was with her husband and her stepdaughter, who was 16. So they get asked to come over and sit with the rap party that Danny Masterson was in. She didn't know who he was. So she was like, okay. They handed her a drink, and that's the last thing she remembers. She wakes up in a hotel room that's not hers, in severe pain. Most likely it was more than one person, but whatever happened was very violent. As she's gathering herself together and leaving the room, she sees her stepdaughter come out of another room, as upset as her. And now you have to go explain to your husband that this happened. to, like, why weren't you in the hotel room all night? So I didn't hear that part, like how that went down. But she testified, or was willing to testify, in Danny Masterson's trial, and possible charges in Canada. Yes. So he probably did it and said, hey guys, let's go have some fun. And these other celebrities, I mean, if it was just him, how'd they get two people in two different rooms? Well, this is how she found out who he was. Like 3 years later, or I don't know the exact number. She was sitting to watch this movie, and he came on, and she broke down because now she saw him, and now she knew who he was. So she couldn't turn him in because I don't know why they didn't file charge. Maybe they did. I don't know the whole ins and outs of that story. But like, I know that her and that husband aren't married anymore. Yeah, the woman didn't even know he was famous. Yeah. Well, he wasn't that famous. He was like in the 70s show for a little while. But he wasn't that famous in 2000. Yeah, it is. And that's why it's so hard for me to say those words. But we're reading Dianetics, and L. Ron Hubbard is disgusting. There are things in there I can't even read. What's that?
Is a flyer for my show tomorrow?
Here, I promote people that walk by.
Oh, sweet.
Here. So, hey, Flight by Nothing, the live trip. Where's this at?
The Parish.
The Parish, where's that at?
It's downtown Austin. It's east.
And when is this?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yes, ma'am.
What time?
9:45 is when we go on, but the show starts at 7:30.
Okay, because I usually get done here around 6:37.
Well, ma'am, if you like to have a good time, dance around.
I would love to, but my husband goes to work at 9 and needs
That's
the
okay.
car.
I understand.
But here you
I
guys.
appreciate you putting us on the gram,
So-
and you keep that flyer, okay?
All right, I will.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, I like to promote, young people trying to start out. Co-Bilf, CO Bilf. There's also a convicted child SAR presently sitting on the board of the Anchorage mission. Is that the one I need? Oh, I saw the title and haven't watched it yet, CO Bilf. I will watch that tonight. I saw that a predator was on the board of something, but I didn't open it. It was just in my feed. I haven't, so I need to go watch that too. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my gosh, I'm still signed into our cameras at home, and the dogs I'm getting all these notifications. Sorry. Let me try to get rid of my notifications real quick. Hang on. All right, let's see. Notifications 0. All right. At least it won't make noise anymore. I forgot. So what happened was I was getting my live ready where I normally do, and Colin, the guy that saved me from that violent guy months and months ago, he came by and said it was his birthday like a month or two ago. And I said, well, come by, I'll do something for you. And we haven't seen each other that much. So I was about to go on, and he's like, hey, can you get me some beans and rice at Chipotle? And I'm like, oh, sure, absolutely. So we went into Chipotle. I said, get whatever you want. Get some meat, get some protein. You need more than beans and rice. And this is your birthday dinner. So he helped me with my wagon. He was pulling my wagon and everything. The dogs were ordering treats on Amazon while she's out. They would. He was awake when I left, but it's the end of his weekend, so he needs. So we took our dogs to the vet yesterday, so that was something else we had to do. And oh my gosh, so I don't like to give a lot of vaccines at one time. I'm not an anti-vaxxer with children and dogs, small dogs, but I don't think they should get a whole bunch at one time. I think that's too hard on their little bodies. And I didn't know this when my kids were young, and my son, I think, is autistic but very highly functioning. I want the VA to test him. He gets taken advantage of way too much for his age, and I think he just doesn't get the social. He doesn't know when somebody's lying. Anyway, my point. So I took my two little dogs. I didn't know they were both 14 pounds. Both of them need to lose a little bit of weight. And they got blood drawn, and they got 2 shots. And then the nose thing I'm going to do when I take the big dog in for her rabies in December or January. My Petunia, the one you guys normally see because she wants to be with me all the time, she was on my lap, and I went to like hug her and she cried, and her whole like front armpit was swollen. She couldn't lay right. She just kept crying, and we gave her a little tiny bit of tramadol because I know I can give that to my dogs. And she finally went to sleep. She's good today. My husband picked her up. She's okay because I was upset because the other one hurt too, but not as bad. But I think they need to be a little more careful with the little ones. But I didn't take my big dog back because everything got better with her from last week. So she's doing really good. And then, so yesterday was the vet. The reason I wasn't here Tuesday, I had a job interview. So just to get caught up real quick, I'll probably talk about it more Saturday night in detail. But I had mentioned a long time ago when I think after I got my implant, because I was bedridden before that. Some of you may not know my story, but that's how I was able to go deep dive on Scientology. And then right when this place opened, my pain stimulator implant was healed, and I'm able to stand now. And like I said, I always think things happen for a reason. I was bedridden for a reason, or I would have never had the time to deep dive like I did for a year solid. And when I got healed was the perfect time to start this. So anyway, there was a point to this. Oh, I mentioned to my husband, I saw when, because they're very limited. It's a security contract at a very large shopping type facility in Waco. But my husband has more responsibilities because he works at night, and he has to go patrol all of their properties downtown. There's a lot between restaurants, bakeries, shops. Now they have a hotel. He has to go check them all out. So I said, anyway, somebody either quit or got fired on the spot, and everybody was working ridiculous overtime. And I said, look, I don't need a job. I don't want a lot of hours because I probably couldn't handle, a full day every day of the week. Tell your boss I'd be willing to be just an emergency call or emergency call person without an actual shift. And we were in the car together, and he had him on speaker, and I mentioned it. And he said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So they had an event going on the week before last, so he couldn't get in. I couldn't do an interview. So Tuesday, I had my job interview in Waco. Tom drove me, even though he was dead dog tired, because he went around, practically half trained me while we were visiting. That was the first time I got to go there and go through the shops during the day, because he's always asleep and doesn't want to go back to Waco. So I got hired. I got to get my level 2 security certification, and mostly I'll be sitting watching cameras I'll be working during the day. Tom and I, the reason it was okay is Tom and I will really never work together. He works alone. And it came at the right time because he's been putting off for 2 years a hernia surgery, and he happened to get that scheduled the day before I had my job interview in November. And I'm like, now, instead of him losing however much time he'll be out, he has some vacation. I can move into the slot during the day, and they can move somebody tonight to cover him. So that kind of works out. That's not why I did it. So they liked my resume. I'll go over this more Saturday night, y'all, because this is different. I need to get back to what I was here for. But yeah, thanks. Yeah, I haven't worked before. This is how long I haven't worked, guys. It's been 14 years. So I had to dig out my dress pants and this nice short sleeve sweater I like. And I pulled out my dress shoes, my loafers that I used to wear to work. They're nice. I keep them nice. I always wiped them down, and I kept them in their shoe boxes. So I put these loafers on. I get to the car, and both soles have broken and fell off. Just fell off. Luckily, I had thrown my black tennis shoes in a bag, and I just wore those. I know. luckily I was wearing all black and I had black tennis shoes, but I wanted to be, work attired. We didn't have time to go back in because it was an hour drive and we were leaving at the last minute, of course. Hi, Lily. I know, right? So now I got to go through all of my shoes and see if they're dead, see if they died in their box. Because part of the problem is it gets to 110 degrees here, and probably it got a little warm too in our closet because it's an outside wall. So it was just funny. So my other pair of loafers that I decided not to wear are okay. I went because they were in a plastic bag inside the shoe box, and I messed with the soles. I bent them, and they were good. The reason I didn't wear them though is they have a black fur. It's like a mule or a clog. The back is open, and it's a little furry, and they're suede. They're kind of for colder weather. So that's the only reason I didn't wear those. Oh, I need some water. Alrighty. I would love to go to that show. You know what? If my son is down here... Alright, let's see, what time is it? Ooh. Okay, in about a 4:45. Help me watch the clock. Yeah, in about 15 minutes, I moved to the corner because that's the main entrance over there, and hundreds of students go by. And I'm going to push this article and stuff online. And as soon as we get my sign completed, I'm going to have a QR. I'm going to try to, I don't know how it works. I'm going to try to make a site or a link to something that has like the articles that are like on my signs. So I don't know how to work that yet. I've never learned. It's going to be something new that I got to figure out. Or at least the link at the bottom of the sign. People like to take a picture of my sign. So in case you didn't hear why I'm here, I'm going to go over this often. There's nobody coming. There's a group down there though. There's something going on down here behind me. There's like a canopy, and that's the university co-op. So something's going on down there. I wish I could go down there, but they'd probably get mad at me. But okay, so I listened to Natalie's show. I'm gonna lean on this bike rack a little bit. All right. Today on the way here, I try to save it. Sometimes I watch like yesterday's show. I'll probably watch that on the way home. Luckily, I watched today's show. So I had heard about a daycare, a Scientology-owned daycare, where there was a child predator who was allowed to assault the children in said daycare, and they didn't turn him into the authorities. Now, this is the story I heard like last year. And he moved on somehow, I don't know. The thing about that story was the parents were never told. The parents were never told that their child was molested in a Scientology daycare. They covered it up. See that? When I get really pinpoint on my words, it's because somebody's coming by. I want them to hear it and be like, what? So I say things we already know or they already know. I'm half here for the public too, because this is disgusting and we need investigations. If you didn't see my title, we want investigations into Scientology and their cover-up of child predators. I mean, they know that, other churches have done it. They know other cults have done it. We have people on YouTube telling their story. We had Miriam's dad confess that he assaulted his little girl at 5 years old, and Scientology covered it up. He confessed to the LAPD, and they did nothing because the statute of limitations was over, because she's an adult now. I personally feel anything that happens to you as a child should have no statute of limitations. And there's another country, I can't remember where, that if you attack a child, it's the unaliving penalty. They should at least get life in prison. I heard. So I've seen somebody peddling drugs get 10 or 20 years. And then I saw this guy who AR'd an 8-year-old girl get 8 years. Her life is ruined forever. And he gets 8 years. Another reason this upsets me, Tom knows I've mentioned it. So my husband lived in a 1 traffic light town, really nice town. Everybody knew everybody else. There was a elementary school. So he was in high school, he was bused to my high school, 10 miles away. And that's where we met. Afila, me had an institutional essay review in Austin. Scientology is so small they weren't even considered. Oh, we had an institutional. Oh, Australia. Sorry, I'm in Austin, AUS. I thought you meant Austin because that's where I am. Okay, I get it now. I know, I like to abbreviate too, but that was just a weird, similar abbreviation. Okay, so anyway, this hits home. So, he was the youngest. His mom was 40 when he had him. So his next sibling is 5 years older. His next sibling is 10 years older. And then his oldest sibling is the same age, is 1 year off from my mom, who had me at 23. So, the older one, hi, did you get, that's fine. The older one usually walked him partially to school, and then she got on the bus. And then there was a library too. So I stood in the center of town, and the light turned yellow at 6 because the traffic died down. I stood in the center of town and took 4 pictures and got a picture pretty much the whole town. So on his way to school, he got attacked by a stranger. He could see the school next to the library, I believe. Never found him. He wasn't from town. It was a stranger, but he knows he saw him before, that he was being watched. So, yeah. Yeah. So, well, now I know that AUS is probably Australia, because this is usually AU, but I'll figure it out. It's no big deal. It was just funny. So, I always knew if anybody ever hurt our kids, my husband was going to jail. So they never found it, and now I understood why his mom was so overprotective of him. Then when he was 10, he got caught on fire because he was playing with gas and matches. He said he was being careful. The other kid picked up the cup full of gas that was on fire, and it started to melt on his hand, and he threw it on my husband. He has a scar up to here. The only thing that saved his hair from, he had a hat on. So he was in Children's Hospital for 30 days. I'll go into that Saturday night too. Anyway, so this already hits home, but I think it should hit home for any parent or any normal person. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this so-called religion covers up for child predators. And now that we're online, this is a fear of mine, that child predators are going to start joining Scientology because they know they won't get turned in. So it's like a double-edged sword that I talk about it. I kind of don't want to tell people, but I have to. So there was the daycare that didn't tell the parents that a daycare is usually under school age, unless they're after school. I had a home daycare for 8 years. So my daytime kids were 4 and under. And that's disgusting. So then the Delphi Academy, that's why I think it is 2 different stories, because a daycare is very different from a school. So now we hear about the Delphi Academy, who's ran by Scientology, allowed a child predator to move on to another school and didn't tell the authorities and didn't tell the other, gave him a glowing recommendation so that he would leave. Because that's what they do. They cover it up and they move it out somewhere else. What time is it? Seeing people. A few more minutes and I'm gonna move. Because then they start coming in from dinner, and I like to be on the side during that time. I see a few more public that time and people coming in for the night shift. So, oh, I was saying about that guy's concert. Because I want to know when Selfless is playing too. I need to go over to his channel. Because my son is out of school on Fridays and he comes down to visit with his son. He doesn't always tell me he's here. So if he could come down, we could go to the little concert with this guy and Tom could take the vehicle. We have our second vehicle in the mechanic right now since the first. And they're waiting on some sort of part. But that's not what's wrong with it. They haven't told us what is really wrong with it yet. It's in the wiring. We have kept it's a Dodge Nitro. We have kept that thing alive. We put a new engine in it. We put all new stuff that was attached to the engine. We've replaced the front rods. The only thing we haven't changed is the transmission, but it's still good. So anyway, the other two cars we've had to get new transmissions. So anyway, now I heard from Natalie that there's evidence that when Ashton Kutcher was a model for Abercrombie and Fitch, there was some, gross shenanigans going on with the models linked to Epstein. So now we have Epstein to Ashton Kutcher to Danny Masterson to Scientology to possibly P. Diddy. Celebrities, or I don't believe a celebrity anymore. They get too much money and they think they're on this another level and they can do whatever they want. And we've found predators on the boards of child charities. So Ashton Kutcher being on the board of that trafficking charity means nothing. Nothing. Means nothing. And now they're talking about moving to Europe. Probably because they don't want to go to jail. They better move to a country with non-extradition. Because I think more and more stuff's going to come out. Or they're going to do like they did with Epstein and cover it all up. So, alright, it's time to move. Look away until I'm done. Alright. Okay, we're going to move. Let's turn around. Alright. It's a weird angle because I have this tripod I have to carry. Alright, we're going to go down here to the corner. I think I'm going to sit right here. I usually go over there. I don't want to block anybody. I'll go over here. Alright, let's go over here. Okay, I'm going to put the wagon on the slope. I always end up standing on the slope, which makes no sense. That makes more sense. There we go. Alright. We're going to go this way. Alright, so I'm on a slope, so I got to adjust legs. Alright, we're pretty straight right there. Let's see if we can come up a little bit. Look away till I'm done. About right there. That's good. I don't want it too low. Get my sign up. And get my water bottle. Yeah, I might. I know if I cover my son's gas money, he might come down. Last time he came down, he crashed on the couch. Let's see. All right, so now we have, so we know Danny Masterson, actually probably, so we talked about some of other Danny Masterson's victims that weren't even in Scientology, but somehow he got away with all this time for more than 90, it was around 2000, so 24 years he got away with those. And I'm pretty sure, I think the Canadian, I think she was a witness in the second trial, or one of them was a witness in the mistrial, and that witness didn't come back for the new trial. They had somebody different. Okay, so that's 2. Then we had the 3 in court. Then we know that people in Scientology are like, well, we know of at least 5 more victims. So that's 10. And there's probably more. I mean, that's 10 over since the late 90s. Yeah, there's more. Definitely there's more. So I'm going to repeat myself because I have a crowd over here. So this is the main entrance to the college, and at 5 is the end of the day. So, they moved. I'll give it a minute. So now I find out that, so I found out about the daycare that allowed the child predator, the Scientology daycare, covered up for the child predator that worked there, didn't tell the parents that their children were assaulted, and he moved on to like another school. I don't know if he's in jail, but the Scientology ran school allowed a child predator to attack children there, and they're not allowed to turn a Scientologist into the authorities, so they gave him a glowing recommendation for a new school. Now he's in prison because the non-Scientology school turned him in. So now a child of that school, Delphi Academy in California, is suing Delphi Academy for allowing this to happen. And he was a child, so they can't get him, without even getting into legal stuff yet, they can't hit him with that arbitration crap. He was a minor, he was a child. So I don't care if his parents were in, and obviously he's either not a Scientologist, ow, or about to not be one. And hooray for his courage for doing this, because he's suing a Scientology school, and he's speaking for all the children that they've covered up for in Scientology all around the world. They're and other countries have investigated them. Other countries have shut them down, or at least took away their church status, and some countries won't even allow them in. I know Germany, I know Russia's trying to get rid of them. They went to jail. That's a different story I heard about, that in Russia, some of the Scientologists were in jail for like 2 years before they let them out. And jail in Russia is not easy. So I just hope more and more victims of Scientology cover-ups come out. That's what we're here for. We're hoping that anybody in here that's been attacked and their predator was covered up for and moved to some other place. You know, the Army does it too. It's not necessarily for something that bad. But a lot of times, if you're a problem soldier, they will transfer you to another unit. And a lot of times, there's a unit that they send all the problems to, because they don't want to have to deal with that. My husband we lived at that time, about 11 miles from post. When he was a sergeant and he had soldiers under him, he put 40,000 miles on his vehicle driving these soldiers around for their court appointments and these other important, because they were in trouble and all this other stuff. Just doing that. Oh, I'm probably not allowed to talk about this. You know what? I haven't worked there in 14 years. I don't care. So, I did all the background checks for many years until we started training other people to do it, so we could rotate. And I found out that there was a child predator who didn't register when he got to our post. I found it in another state or another country I found the report. Something that we do in the Army at soldiers is around the base, units will adopt a school and they will go and do things at the school, and I don't know exactly what they do, to be honest. They adopt the school and they help out. He had been volunteering at an elementary school for a year. And I'm like, y'all didn't do a background check when he first got here? Nope. It had been a year. So yeah. Smart. Alright, I'm getting more people now, so I'm gonna be repeating myself, y'all. So in Scientology, if you attack children, they cover it up because you're not allowed to go to the authorities about anybody in Scientology. You're not allowed to sue another Scientologist. So many people have screwed each other over in business in Scientology because they're not allowed to sue each other. We know of so many stories where children were attacked in Scientology because they don't think they're children. They think they're adults in small bodies. They don't look at them as children. They don't look at them as needing protection because they were an 80-year-old man in their last life. So some of them think it's okay to attack children and do whatever they want to do. Because not only that, they won't be sent to the authorities. At most, they'll get transferred out to somewhere else to continue. Remember the computer IT guy they had? That they would confess every time he did auditing to the horrible things he was doing to children? And they continued to send him around the world and stay with Scientology families with children and didn't tell the families that he was a child predator. He's still doing it as far as we know. They don't care. They think children are adults in small bodies. So they think they can do whatever they want. Well, don't forget the lawsuit going on right now of the girl who was assaulted at 16 and forced to marry a 20-something-year-old man to have the baby, and it was all forced, and now she's suing him and the church for forcing him to marry her predator, her attacker. That's what Scientology does. Scientology covers up for child predators that attack kids in Scientology daycares and Scientology schools. And now we have finally a brave adult who was one of those children suing the Delphi Academy in California for allowing a predator to be there and continue, and then gave him a glowing review to another facility that wasn't Scientology, and now he's in prison for that. Which he should have been in prison for what he did at the Delphi Academy. That guy in the daycare should have been in jail for what he did at the daycare. And those parents were never told that their children were attacked in that daycare. They just moved him away to continue. I think he might be in jail too. I'm not sure. But it took non-Scientologists to put him in jail. Hi, Twyla. Yeah, it's that one. Oh, it's probably happened before, Twyla. I don't think these are isolated cases. I'm sure it's been done before. Because they don't like sex outside of marriage. So when a 15-year-old girl gets assaulted, they make them marry the attacker because what you're doing is wrong. That's the only rule they have. Other than that, you can pretty much do whatever you want in Scientology and they'll cover it up. So, luckily, we had one of those children in the Delphi Academy, which was ran by Scientology, suing the Delphi Academy and Scientology for covering up the essay of him when he was a child and giving that attacker a glowing review to go to a new school where he continued attacking children, and that school put him in jail. So there's no doubt that he was a child predator. And then we have the daycare that allowed a child predator, a Scientology ran daycare, who allowed a predator to attack children and didn't tell the parents and just transferred him to another place where we know he probably continued. So when I get big crowds, I'm going to repeat myself. But yeah, so that's two different schools that did the same thing. When there was a child predator in their midst, they did nothing. They didn't go to the authorities. They just transferred him somewhere else. And it sounds like they got, well, the daycare guy, I think, went to another Scientology facility. Who knows? It might be the same guy. I don't know, because I heard the daycare story like last year. So we know that they cover up for parents that attack their kids because Miriam's dad confessed to the LAPD and they didn't do anything. He confessed to things she didn't even remember. That's how she found out what he did. And that was in his file all, 20 years, I think? I don't know the exact time frame. But that file where he attacked his daughter at the age of 5 went to every post that he went to in Scientology, and they looked at it and was like, oh, okay, there was one person who's out of Scientology now that was on somebody's show. I'm terrible with names, so I don't remember her. But she said she got that file, and she did something she wasn't allowed to do in Scientology. When she got the file that said that he was assaulting his daughter from the age of 5 on, she said, there's no way he can come here. I cannot work with this guy, and sent him somewhere else. But that's all she could do. She couldn't call the authorities. They protect child predators in Scientology. Hi, Carrie. I'm repeating myself a lot right now. If you didn't hear Natalie's show this morning, I listened to it on the way here, and I'm totally fired up. So, Scientology covers up for child predators at all times. They are not allowed to go to the authorities. There's a guy in prison right now that was attacking children in a Scientology-run school. They knew it. They gave him a glowing review to go to another school outside of Scientology where he continued attacking children, and now he's in prison. So we know it's true. And we know they covered it up. So now one of those children is suing Scientology and the school. Well, I think they're suing the school. I don't think they're suing Scientology. And he's going to win because the guy's in prison for being a child predator. And don't forget the daycare that allowed a child predator to attack children and never told the parents. They transferred him out somewhere else. If you know of any other stories, let me know. Because I haven't heard everything. Don't forget Danny Masterson. He's in prison for 30 years to life. Only 2 convictions. We know of 2 others that testified in court about doing the same thing, and we know of at least, so that's 5 victims of Danny Masterson that Scientology covered up for. And the reason they won is they got the paperwork from Scientology where he confessed to it. Danny Masterson said, yeah, I did it, but I didn't think it was wrong. Because in Scientology, they're allowed to do whatever they want and nobody will go to the authorities. And don't forget, he was a celebrity in Scientology. His whole family was Scientologists. They wouldn't dare talk to the authorities about him attacking women. Scientologists. So nobody's safe. Nobody's safe in Scientology, ever. Hang on. I'm gonna mute because there's music. All right, I was just repeating what I was already saying. So right now it's the end of the day classes, so there's a lot of people going by, so I'm repeating myself quite a bit. It's just what I heard today on Natalie's channel. I started crying too when she did. It's horrible what that's one person that was a child and attacked in a Scientology ran school, and they covered it up. Don't forget all the children whose parents attacked them and covered it up, or other people in Scientology, because you know nobody watches over minors in this place. They send them all over the place. Somebody signs for guardianship and they'll send them to another state. Don't know what's going on. And they get attacked. They get assaulted as children, but because they don't believe children are children in Scientology, that they were 80-year-old men in their last life, they do whatever they want to children, and Scientology authorities will never do anything about it because they're not allowed to go to the police. They'll put them in an auditing session and say, oh, well, we're going to fix you by what? Sitting and talking about it? That's all they're doing in an auditing session. They just sit and talk about it. So, and how many times did Serge have to sit in that room and listen to that man talk about assaulting, it was either his child or a child, over and over and over again? Every time he came in for session, he talked in detail about attacking children, essaying children, and Scientology never did anything about it. A Scientology school is being sued right now because they allowed a child predator to attack children in their school, and instead of going to the authorities, they gave him a glowing review to move him to another civilian school outside of Scientology, where he continued his behavior, and now he's in prison because they did go to the authorities. RPF every day. I hope, at least. But Miriam's dad didn't. Miriam's dad, I don't know the whole story there. I've heard her on other shows. I haven't actually went. I've never watched the Aftermath show, so I don't. All I know is the girl that got his folder who said, no, he can't come here, and that was against the rules, but she did it anyway. So we know that the folder with him admitting to essaying his own daughter at 5 years old, she didn't even remember that. When he went to the LAPD and confessed, she found out stuff she didn't even remember, and they couldn't do anything because it was after the statute of limitations. The only reason he confessed, he wanted to get the heat off of the church of Scientology because they covered it up. That's the only reason he confessed. He didn't do it because he felt bad. Remember, you can't be a victim in Scientology, even a child, because they believe that if something bad happens to you, it's your fault. You pulled it in. You did something bad in your last life, so you deserved it. That's what they told Danny Masterson's victims, that they deserved it because they did something wrong. And remember, Danny Masterson confessed on a piece of paper that they got from Scientology that, yeah, I did it, but I didn't think it was wrong to essay women, drug them into unconsciousness, and then attack them for 20 years. They covered it up for at least 20 years. We know he was still doing it after he got married, because these two girls that got out, the wife saw Danny Masterson following her around the house and got mad and made him leave because she knew what he was going to do. So Danny Masterson's wife knew what he was doing. Bijou Phillips. Hey, Mr. Fraud. Did you see Natalie's show today? I watched it on the way here and I'm irritated. So now we know Danny Masterson was a predator in Scientology. They covered up for it. We know Ashton Kutcher was his friend and also was around during that time. And now we know when he was a model, whatever. Now we know when he was a model, he could have been involved with some Epstein type shenanigans. I don't know the details on it. So that's why I'm here today to talk about the fact that they cover up for child predators. There's probably victims in here right now, and they were told you can't be a victim, that in your last life you did something bad enough for somebody to do something to you. They can't even have a car accident that's not their fault. It's their fault. We saw a video where somebody rear-ended a Sea Org member. It was their fault, and she didn't even want to call the police or anything and left. Because if she'd have told them she was in a car accident, she'd be in trouble. And then they have to do lower conditions and auditing and sec checks because they did something wrong. Somebody hit them when they were on the road. Scientology covers up for child predators. There's a lawsuit right now because they're not allowed to take Scientologists to the authorities. They covered it up, gave him a glowing review to go to another school outside of Scientology where he continued attacking children, and now he's in prison. So now one of those children, one of those Scientology kids, is suing as an adult. All right, that's 2 bottles of water down. I think I'm good. It's not that hot today. Whew, I feel full. We know that they cover up for parents essaying their own children because they're not allowed to go to the authorities. I gotta go watch that story, because did they even move him away from her when he confessed? Or did they let him keep doing it like they did at the school? They victim blame as counseling. Right. Yep. You can't be a victim in Scientology even if you're a child. If you're attacked viciously as a child, you're not allowed to go to the authorities. They won't. They'll cover it up.
We got cut up.
Hola es una secta. Thank you, Marco.
No, I agree.
So you're in Germany. What exactly? I know they're not welcome, but I thought they still had like an org there, or did they make them leave? I need to do more research on what they're doing in the countries that don't like them. I know in Russia, some of the Scientologists went to prison for a couple years. I think because they told them to leave and they didn't. Scientology covers up for child predators. One is in prison right now only because he continued that behavior at a school that wasn't Scientology, and they put him in prison for it. But when he was in a Scientology school, they knew he was a child predator and allowed it to continue. Now that child is an adult and is suing. There was a daycare, what is that, 5 and under, where there was a child predator attacking children. Again, they'd only transferred him out and never told the parents their children were viciously attacked in the daycare. So those kids had to grow up with that, with nobody doing anything about it. I'd love to hear from one of them. I really would. I'm repeating myself a lot, guys, because it's the end of the day for University of Texas, and I'm getting crowds coming out and crossing the street. So I am repeating myself a lot today because I want these people to hear it. I'll chill a little bit in a few minutes when the crowds die down. That's what brought me here. I drive 150 miles round trip to come here to make sure nobody gets sucked into this place because it's evil. Anyone that protects child predators and won't turn them into the police on a regular basis is evil. They don't have a deity. They don't have a moral compass or a moral code in here at all. The only moral code they have is you're not allowed to have sex outside of marriage. But the 16-year-old that was essayed by the 20-something-year-old and she got pregnant because she was attacked, they forced her to marry her predator. Now she's suing years later. They literally made her marry her attacker, and live with him and continue to be attacked because she was 15 or 16 and had no say. Her parents forced her because they were diehard Scientologists. They may still have churches here, but are under review of the German Secret Service or something like that. Good, because the more countries elsewhere that start investigating Scientology, maybe our government will finally start having investigations into all the evil stuff they do inside. And I feel bad for the people in here right now because they're second and third generation. They don't know any better. They don't even know this stuff because they're not allowed to go on the internet or watch TV. They can only read Scientology propaganda. So these people that are old in here and stooped over have been giving them their slave labor their whole life, probably since they were 10 or 12 years old, some earlier than that. They are not tax exempt here, and they don't count as a church here or religion. And yeah, and that is key because they're protected because they have 501c status as a church, and the law enforcement are like, well, they're a church, we don't want to go in there and cause any problems. Even after Miriam's dad went to the LAPD, confessed to attacking her childhood starting at 5, and they did nothing because the statute of limitation was over. He confessed, and the church knew the whole time, the whole 20 years that I don't know if he was attacking her that long. The whole time, the many years he was attacking his daughter, they knew because he confessed to it in oddity, and they just passed him on. Because we know somebody that's gotten out that got his folder with his confession in it, detailed, and she said, there's no way I can work with this guy. And she got in trouble because you're not allowed to say no in Scientology. They cover up for child predators in their daycare. They covered up for child predators in their school, moved them on to other schools with glowing recommendations, and those schools that weren't Scientology ran, put them in jail. And so now we have one of those kids that is suing the Delphi Academy in California because they allowed a child predator to attack them and never went to the authorities, didn't even tell him, oh, that's bad, don't do that. They just gave him a glowing review and sent him to another school. And then don't forget the daycare where he was attacking children, and they moved him out and never told the parents that their children were attacked. Those parents to this day don't know unless their kid told them. Like I said, my fear is that, I'll say this lower, child predators are going to hear that they protect them in here and start joining. That's my biggest fear. Because we're very vocal out here now, and we have lawsuits going on. We have people finally going to prison. So we have a child predator in Scientology that's in prison. And we have Danny Masterson, who drugged and AR'd women and confessed to it in Scientology for about 20 years. That's how he was convicted, because they had his confession from the church in court, the second trial, where he said, yeah, I did it, but I didn't think it was wrong. I've heard people say, oh, he was only convicted on their testimony. No, dude, no. They had all the church paperwork where he admitted to it, and they made him pay her $200,000 to shut her up. But she still filed charges on him. Because no contract is going to protect a predator that attacked a woman. There's no non-disclosure agreement that can cover that up. So they were very brave through all of the attacks from the church while they were in court. Remember, the prosecutor in Danny Masterson's trial was harassed. It never really came out, but They broke his window. They went through his trash. They followed him. They blocked his cell and internet signal. And a lot of this happened when he wasn't at the house. So his wife and kids were in jeopardy. And the junior prosecutor, we know of at least one that quit the case because they were harassing them. They hire people to harass. They've done it to me. I'm a grandma out here just telling the truth, and they paid a transient at least twice to attack me. Remember the guy in California? They finally asked him, well, what did they pay you to attack that protester? And he said a Big Mac. So we know they do it. We know. It's proven fact. I'm on bottle 3. Scientology covers up for child predators in their church because we know victims that are out now as adults. We know they cover up for child predators in their daycare. They're not allowed to go to the authorities on another Scientologist, so they sent him to another school where he continued his behavior, and they turned him in, and he's in prison now. Now one of those children is suing.
Right about that.
Yeah.
It is a problem because somebody was actually talking to me about that, my friend Travis.
Yeah.
Because it has nothing to do with science, actually. Ironically.
No, they call it tech. It's just LRH was a science fiction writer that wrote this religion. No, he's not involved. No.
Big odds. Well,
No. You're thinking Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise and John Travolta are members.
John Travolta, I was gonna say.
Yeah. And we thought for a long time that Tom Cruise didn't know about the slave labor in here. Come to find out, the leader let him use Sea Org members, their slave labor, go and work on his property for free. So you have 3 levels of members, okay? You have the Tom Cruises that spend all the money. Those are called public. Then you have the Sea Org, which is like being in the military. It was based on the Navy. They sign a billion-year contract. These old people you see in here have been doing this since they were kids. You do it till you die. You get $50 a week if the org makes money. But when I'm out here, nobody's going in there buying books.
So there's like a dictator in charge?
Oh yeah. David Miscavige, he's driving a $200,000 Bentley while they eat beans and rice because they're not making enough money. The church in Dallas can't even turn their lights on because they can't pay the electric. No money comes down ever. This building was bought and paid for 55 years ago, and they still have to pay the church rent. Yep. It's worse than
they don't care about homeless people, do they?
What you think is going on in here, it's worse. Right now, what I'm going off about today is there's an adult that was a child in a Scientology-run school that a child predator worked at, and they allowed that child predator to attack children, and you're not allowed to go to the authorities about another Scientologist. So they gave him a glowing review to go to another school where it wasn't a Scientology school. He's in prison now because they did go to the authorities. They are evil.
I bet they are.
Now, the people you see in there, they don't know a lot of this because they're not allowed to look at the internet. They're not allowed to watch TV, and they've been indoctrinated since kids. They're victims. The people in here with the vests on, they're victims. They are. This guy studied because this guy died in...
Let's break him out of here, man!
I wish, you guys. But yeah, spread it because that's why we're out here. There's 100 of us doing this around the whole world. Really? Australia, Paris, UK, Canada, all the big cities. They're told they have 30 million members. They have like 30,000. Because if you broke it down, if they had 30 million members, that's 210,000 per org. Do you see 210,000 people going in and out of here? No, about 20.
Burn this place to the ground.
No, we don't say things like that online.
Oh, yeah.
I can get in trouble. Not here. In LAPD, they do. Because they had protesters.
Deep in Scientology.
They have protesters in LA. They started a year ago. And in 2 months, they called 24 false calls. Oh, they have a weapon. They have this. They're doing this. And everybody's live streaming.
They protect
They could prove, yes, because for 50 years, they have hired LAPD officers to be secured. They pay triple rate. They give millions to the LAPD charities. And so we watched them be corrupt for months. And they arrested people like me out there for false charges because as soon as it went from DA, all you had to do is show them the film that it was wrong, that it
They
didn't
don't have free
happen.
speech out there either, do they? They're trying to destroy free
truth
speech.
was
What
set
they're
you
using
free.
in California that they can't hear is they arrested 2 protesters for interrupting church services because they had a bullhorn.
Oh my.
But
And-
you can protest freely here, though, right?
But it's called
You know,
the
they
First
slammed
Amendment.
college students
The
over there
First
during
Amendment
Gaza.
allows me to stand here all I want anywhere in the United States. But that doesn't stop the
They
LAPD
slammed the
from arresting somebody on a Friday, so they have to sit in jail all weekend until Monday or Tuesday, and then they're let out with no charges because there's no evidence. You have 4 people videoing what's going on. They like to send the elderly out. This one young man, really nice guy. He was walking down the sidewalk. They were behind the church, walking on the sidewalk, and this older man with a scooter, he's like, he wanted to go, he wouldn't move. So when he tried to go around him, he rammed him, told the police he tried to steal his scooter,
Oh my God.
and they put
He
him
was a
in jail.
Scientologist, wasn't he?
Yes.
Scientologist.
They
got
put
started
him
some
in jail.
bullshit. They're like, you tried to kill me.
Listen to the charges. They put him in jail for robbery and a hate crime because it was an elderly. He was in jail for 3 or 4 nights, and then it was dropped because you could see on everybody else's video that he was rammed by the old guy.
He made up a lie.
But the officers will never look at the video when they're making their arrest.
That's one of those.
That's why I can't stand these fucking cults.
No, what is that?
APD though has been pretty chill.
What is that?
They tried to call. I'm a grandma,
I respect
and
what
they
you're
called
doing. You're
on
doing it right
me.
in front of their building.
I don't blame you too.
Respect.
Yeah. How old are you?
25.
Yeah, my kids are in their 30s.
You're doing a great thing for humanity.
That's what I'm here for.
This is a win for humanity.
I appreciate y'all listening to my spiel.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah, anytime you can pass the word out. We're trying to. I've caught them almost getting a couple freshmen. You know, they're
trying to
far
convert
from
you.
home. They're lonely. They were giving them this
Easy targets.
bull crap. They will love bomb you at first till they get you inside. And I walked up and I'm like, no. You have to have over $100,000 to go up the confidential levels, and if you don't have that, you're going to end up being their slave labor.
Oh, fuck.
And we know in Chicago they have 8 people to a studio apartment. So you know what the signs of human trafficking are? Living with employer in cramped and poor conditions, taking of identity documents. Like they're trying to get people from non-English speaking countries right now, and they're like, come to the United States. You can be a religious volunteer. That's how they get away with it. And then they get here and they take their passport.
No, they ain't no freedom.
And it's the same way other churches do too, though, with the preacher. They're like, hey, you love God? Well, you need to join our church.
Yeah, but most of them aren't as evil as these people. They don't make you sign a
Because they're rich.
billion-year contract.
They're rich.
And you know why they attack
They
kids?
use their money.
Right. They have $1 billion in the bank, and they don't even know it because they fundraise all the time.
Where do they get their money from?
The public donating. There's people that are billionaires that have donated $100 million here, $50 million.
Manipulate the minds of young people.
So you have Sea Org, which is the billion-year contract. They're not allowed to have kids. They can get married, but if they get pregnant, they will take them to the clinic. They will force it. Then you have staff. Now they get to go home at night, but they're supposed to get $200 a week. Now this hasn't changed since he started this in the 50s. Well, maybe it was less then, but they're supposed to get $200 a week because you live in Austin on $800 a month. But if they don't make money, they don't get paid. So a lot of times they have a moonlight job. After 80 hours here, they go to another job with a Scientologist in order to pay rent, and they buy their own food. A guy went past me a couple weeks ago. He said, yeah, after I got out of the Navy, I signed on here to be a staff member. He wasn't a Scientologist, so he didn't know what was going on. He ended up going to one of the other churches to get fed because he wasn't getting paid. And then he left.
This would be great. We got to hit the food
All right, thank you. All right, Warren.
Thank you.
Have a good day. I heard that. What is it?
It was for their protesting about the Gaza thing, going on
Oh,
over
because I
there.
heard somebody with a bullhorn, but I didn't see him on the
Well,
back.
there was a 63-year-old professor. She was slammed on the ground by one of the cops. Yeah, she was like, I'm a professor! And, blah, blah, blah. She was a 63-year-old professor. They slammed her on the ground.
Yeah, well, they tried to get me. They had security the first 2 weeks. They opened in February.
And she wasn't being violent.
Well,
She was just standing.
They
They
couldn't get
grabbed her.
me
and
personally because the security was there. Now, was that when they were protesting for more money? Whoa, more
No,
money?
no.
Oh.
It was pretty insane. It was hundreds of arrests.
Oh, I heard about that. I
Everybody
wasn't
had
here
signs.
then.
Yeah, it
I
was
remember.
when the US
I didn't know
started-
about that though.
When the U.S. started supporting Israel and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
That's, you know, and with the
I heard about
murders and
that.
stuff, the bombing and
Yeah.
stuff. And then they slammed
Yeah.
the Israel.
I hate to be rude, but aren't you supposed to?
Yeah. Go.
Yes.
Go.
I'm here a lot. You
Who's
guys
first?
can stop another day.
It's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Josh, thanks for reminding me, bro.
They listen. That's all I care about. Where are we? Probably stuff I needed to see. I need to start looking at you guys while I'm talking, but you know, I never know when they're gonna break off. So I'm like going, and then I'm like, they're still here, and I add more. They're still here, and I add more. All right. Okay. It's really hard to get accepted as church by the government here in Germany. That's what he's talking about. Tried to run off road prosecutor. Oh yeah, oh my gosh. Not sure how to explain that, but in Germany they count as a club. I get it. They're just an organization in Germany, and there's a lot of places where they don't get church status. And don't forget, hold on. Did that help me covering the mic so you didn't hear the siren? So, yeah, I get that. So anywhere they don't have church status, they're just an organization, you know. What BS charges? That like I punch him, he just ran straight into my fist. It wasn't even like that. The false charges, well that, but it was never actually physical, at least the first couple months that they were trying the false charge. They would call on the LA people. It was, oh, he's out there brandishing a pew, or he has a sharp thing, or he said he threatened me. And then they get there and they go inside for like 45 minutes talking to Scientology and looking at their video and seeing that didn't happen. Plus the fact that we can show our video, which reminds me, I've got to get my knockoff GoPro ready to go and start wearing it. Because I'm ramping up a little bit more than I did during summer when it was, you know, there wasn't a lot of people here. They're probably not happy with me today. I'm on the slope, that's why I'm so low. I'm not level with the sidewalk. Because they were the way they were standing. That I just there. You know, hopefully they seem like very outgoing dudes. So I'll bet they're gonna go repeat what I said to somebody. They're going to another church too to get some food. But yeah, and here what they did, because we had a security guard for a few weeks, it actually protected me because they couldn't say I was doing something I wasn't doing because the guy was standing right there. Literally 5 minutes before I heard sirens, you could see him on the edge of my camera look at the door and go inside. He was called inside. And then 6 police cars show up. This detective runs up and he's like, he sees me, he's about to run inside. And he had his hand on his weapon. He's running up and he goes, "Have you been here the whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Have you heard any shots?" I'm like, "No." And then he looked around, you know, nobody's running and screaming. And then you could see him go, "Oh, okay." So what they did is they called shots fired to my location because they couldn't pin anything on me. And they still can't, because like May, June-ish, I was sitting in a chair for a lot of that time because it was so hot. Hi. And we were joking. I was eating my sandwich one day. I said, "Yeah, were they going to get me on my ominous-looking sandwich or my violent chair?" Okay, Fuzzy. Hi, Fuzzy. Fuzzy pink handcuffs. Oh, room raid. Awesome. Well, I got sidetracked by the young men that were here, but I have been nonstop while the crowds were walking by when class was out about the daycare and the Scientology school that protected child predators. And when he was sent to another school, they put him in jail, so we know it's true. I talked more about the Danny Masterson victims that weren't in court, and I've been constantly repeating it. Now the crowds have died down. Matter of fact, let me move. This is hurting my back. Hold on. All right. Let me get... hang on. Hang on. Look away until I get better set up. Come down this way a little bit. Let's see. Alright, there we go. That should be straight. I'm still on the slope. It's hard to stand here. But anyway, that's why my title says what it is. I listened to Natalie's show this morning on the way here, and I got angry. Thanks for being here. Hey, Papa Cat. All right. Remember to touch assist that like button. Thank you. Hey, MD Media. Just woke up. Hello. Marco, Miss Kim was having a TLC match right in front of Scientology. Hey, Breezy Report. Yeah, I've been going off nonstop because around 5 o'clock, this is the main entrance to the university. And so I come over to the side at about 4:45 because hundreds of students are coming because they live back here in the apartments and stuff. So hundreds of students come by here at 5 o'clock. So I get over here at 1:45, and I just went over and over and over and over again about the daycare that allowed the child predator and moved him and never told the parents. There's more people here. Hang on. So Scientology had a daycare center that they allowed a child predator to attack children in. Never took him to the authorities because you're not allowed in Scientology, and transferred him somewhere else, and never told the children's parents that their kids were molested in the daycare. This is probably about 20 or 30 years ago, because they're adults now. And then there's the school that's getting sued right now because there was a child predator attacking children in the Delphi Academy in California, and gave him a glowing review to move to another school that wasn't Scientology, who then put him in prison. But now we have an adult that was a child who was attacked suing the Delphi Academy. We know he did it because he's in prison for it. So Scientology covers up for child predators. They've done it for parents that have attacked their kids. They've confessed. Danny Masterson confessed 20 years ago to assaulting women in Scientology, but he said in his confession, I did it, but I don't think it was wrong. That's why he continued to do it. I'm drinking too much water. I'm starting to get acid reflux now. Let me eat something. I don't eat before I come because I don't want to get tummy cramps and maybe have to cut off to go to the bathroom. Alright, where are we? Scientology daycare. Who's watching the kids? John Wayne Gacy? Pretty much. We know they cover up for child predators, and then if you complain that you were attacked and you're not allowed to be a victim in Scientology, then they tell you, oh, well, it's your fault. You must have done something in your last life to pull this in. We watched a girl on somebody's video in LA at the Blue Building, or near it, where somebody rear-ended her. It was not her fault, and all she wanted to do was get out of there. She didn't want insurance. She didn't want to call the cops, because if she'd have told the church that she got in an accident that wasn't her fault, they would blame her, and she probably would have got sec checked or in trouble or done lower conditions, you know, all that stuff that they do. I gotta stand more straighter, you guys. Hang on. Let's like this. Alright, I think we're straight. So, I'll share's here. Hello. Fuzzy Pete. Oh, Fuzzy Pink, you're near hurricanes? How did I know? You know, somebody set a list of all the streamers. I probably just missed it. I'm sorry about that. I hope you're okay. That's horrible. I was affected by a rainstorm, a really bad rainstorm and flood. And a lot of our stuff was destroyed. It was I used to have 8 bookshelves of books. So much of it was destroyed. It was heartbreaking. I only have certain pictures of my childhood because my sister, who I don't speak to because she's a crazy loon, she stole, when my mom died, the big box of pictures and then lost it. because she put it in a storage space. Instead of letting me have it, which I wanted to make copies of them, like back then we had Xerox Kinko's. My grandmother wanted to take the pictures to Kinko's and make copies. She was really into genealogy. Even though it was my dad's mom wanted even my sister's childhood pictures. And they're not related except by between me and her. So anyway, I had my aunt found my parents' wedding pictures that I didn't have, and those got a little bit messed up. They're not so messed up that they couldn't be scanned and I don't know what you call it, fixed. So that's going to be something we do in the future. My husband actually used to do that. He had a couple of my pictures that he fixed. It got scratched. So, but I have no pictures of me as a child with my mom, with my brother, my stepbrothers, with my stepdad. None of it. So when I pass on, no one will know anything about my childhood because everybody's passed on. Restored. Yes, that's the word I want. You got me. There's no sponsorship, but I'm gluten-free, and I get these at Walmart, and there's 3 kinds. I eat way too many of these. They're snack cakes. I'll turn it around while I'm eating. Share. South Carolina is the most horrible from the hurricanes I've heard. Hundreds still missing. FEMA creating havoc. They always do. They never do any good. Bodies floating down the rivers. Thousands still stranded as of this morning. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuzzy. You're funny. Yeah. So I was trying to put this in the chat on Dusty's channel. This was the first hurricane that got North Carolina really bad. So the year we got married, 89, my husband had just went active duty earlier in the year. We both went in the Army Reserves in high school. I was a year ahead of him, so I joined on my 17th birthday, and he didn't join until the following year. Well, anyway, after 2 years of reserves, he went active duty because he just couldn't find a good job, and we didn't have the money to get married. So I mean, we was poor. I mean, I don't know how many times I drove around on E praying we didn't run out of gas. So he picked the farthest away place to go, which was California and Monterey. His unit then went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina for some training, and a hurricane hit while he was there. So then he goes back to California, or we get married. So this is all the things that happened to him in less than a year. It was like 8 months. So then he calls me up and says, I'm leaving in 3 weeks, we're getting married. And I planned a wedding in 3 weeks. I had the big white dress. I'm not doing no Justice of the Peace. I'm getting married forever. Only wedding I'm ever going to have. So I made it happen. We did it in my mom's backyard. So then I go out to try to get an apartment. Ended up, we had to wait 8 months for government housing because I found out we couldn't afford to live in California. Nobody told me. He was living in the barracks. He had no idea how expensive it was. 89, I think it was October. I get there. 2 days later was the 89 quake, which the epicenter was 30 miles from us, even though San Francisco was farther. So, and I was alone in the apartment of the people we were staying with, and she was a soldier, he was a soldier, the married couple, and so they were all in the motor pool watching the floor do this because it was at 5 o'clock. I was alone. So then, after a couple weeks, I go back home. And then, in December, he goes to Panama for just regular jungle training. It's like he'll be doing something regular somewhere, and something happens. There's other incidents that this has happened. He gets to Panama for regular jungle training in December, and they decide to oust Noriega. So now, he's in a battle, getting shot at. And I find out on the radio Because back then, you were lucky if you got a 15-minute phone call once a week. And he ended up sleeping under his Humvee because he'd gone 3 days without sleep so that he didn't want to be in the vehicle if it got hit. So that's what he went through in 8 months. And then he went to Bosnia after like the main war or conflict happened. They were there as a peacekeeping mission, and a war in Kosovo broke out. So then I find out my mom's passing away, and he's got bombers that they shot down near his base. Poor guy's been through so much. He's also been to Colombia for drug type stuff. Adam, they should have just given Noriega some auditing. I know, right? And then, so that was in 89. Then in 95, he went back to Panama for a year. And what that's called, people think that soldiers and their families are only separated when there's war or conflict. And that's not true. There's a lot of other reasons. So there's these things called hardship tours where you could even go to Germany, but it's 1 year. If you want to bring your family, you have to sign up for 2 or 3 years. And when he went to Panama in 95, I said, I'm not going somewhere where the grasshoppers are bigger than my 2-year-old. So, and then when he went to Korea, I didn't know we could extend. I wish I would have gone to Korea with him for a year. He was in Bosnia for about 8 months. He was in Kuwait. He was in Iraq 3 times. Once as a civilian after he retired. So in 21 years active duty, we were apart for just under 11. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Iraq 3. Panama, Korea. Kuwait was almost a year. So 5 times was 12 or more months. And in Korea, in 2000, he was there for 9/11. He got there earlier that year. For him to come home for the 2 weeks in the middle, yeah, they say you can take Army flights and stuff for free, but to make sure you get back, you had to show a return ticket, which was $1,800 at the time, and 2001. So I didn't see him the whole 12 months, and he didn't get a webcam until the end of his tour in 2002. So I almost forgot what he looked like. I told him that. Military's weird. So when he went back the second time, he loved it. But they tried to fit a grasshopper in an MRE box. An MRE box is about this big. Let's see, this way. This big and this wide. It's pretty shallow. And they were trying to put a grasshopper in it and had to break its legs to get it in the box. That's what he told. And then they had the rats. He said it was nighttime. Oh no, it wasn't nighttime, but it was dark in this ammo depot because it's all cement, no windows. So he's in there and it's a T. And they went down to get the ammo. They're coming back and they have to turn right and go down. And there's this, what he thought was a giant rat in their flashlight, and they freaked. He had the toughest guy in his unit with him who lost his ever loving mind. They finally got around it. Now it's called a kookaburra or something. It is a rodent and it is large. It's bigger than, it's about the size of my dog. Yeah, I've been talking about the daycare and the school so much earlier. I'm kind of just rambling at the moment. Let me switch it. So, oh, you know what? Oh, Sea Org members. Hold on. SPTVFoundation.org. They'll help you get out and get an apartment and a job and a GED. I know they heard me. He turned around and looked at me. Okay, I gotta move. They're starting to come. Alright. They're starting to come out and come in for the nighttime. I'm seeing more Sea Org members than I used to. I don't think they're housing them inside, because why am I seeing them leave? I never used to see them at all. All right, guys, we're moving. Because they have to come around this way because of where the parking lot is. And they probably haven't been told that I moved. Alright, this is a good spot. I like to have light posts and stuff near me because it limits how people can get near me. Alright, this isn't straight. Hang on. Alright, there we go. Alrighty. So, if you didn't hear about Natalie's show, there's a lawsuit going on from one of the kids that was in the Delphi Academy who was assaulted by a child predator, and instead of doing anything about it, they gave him a glowing review and sent him to another school, which I assume was not Scientology, because he's in prison now for attacking children there. I can't believe that alone didn't start some sort of investigation. For the iPhone users, if you want to join, click on this link. Oh, thank you, Fuzzy. I'm eating my snack cake to kind of help with the acid reflux. And I only got it because I drank 2.5 bottles of water back to back. It's actually not that hot. It's like 88 or something with a breeze. There wasn't a breeze out front though, it's over here. Oh look what the sign says, pink. Pink pony girls, welcome. I don't know what that means. I've seen girls dressed up in pink vests and some cowboy hats. I think that's something to do with that. Sorry for the delay. Oh, making cakes. Hi, Twilight. Good to have you. Scientology covers up child predators in their schools. They had a Scientology-run school where a child predator attacked the children there, and instead of calling the police, they gave him a glowing review to go to a new school that wasn't Scientology, and they put his butt in jail. Now one of those kids is suing the school. Hi.
Hi. Y'all run them.
Yep.
I remember reading that book, Battlefield. Or...
Me too. I have it on my shelf. It's before I knew anything. It's funny. This guy back here. Yep. People say it was a bad book, but I'm easily entertained. Easily entertained. There's been like maybe one book that, you know, I just couldn't get into. And I've read some bad books. I thought it was alright. At the time I read it, it was one of the first ones that was that long. Now I'm into more series type, and I like sci-fi, fantasy type stuff. So the movie was okay. I'm easily entertained with movies too, because I was bedridden and homebound for so long that I had watched so much that now I have to watch B movies. Don't ever watch 40 Days and 40 Nights. It's a sci-fi movie, but it's a B movie. That movie, it took me 5 sessions to finish it, because I would watch some and be like, oh my god, this is so bad. It was so bad. The filming was so bad. I don't care if it's big budget. It can have a janky set, as long as the dialogue is decent, the acting is decent, and the plot makes some sort of sense. They could be in there was one movie I watched, it had a really good premise, but you could tell they were, the walls were that silver padding stuff that you put in like your windows to reflectix was on the walls, or a tarp or something, I could tell, and it was supposed to be on another planet, and so I was like, I don't care. Like I said, I'm easily entertained. To me, that's more like I went to a play once before, and you know, they don't have the best sets all the time. They might have a partial or whatever. But yeah, you see any members coming from that way, put turn around in capital letters or something. I'm trying to look both ways. It's still a little bit early for people to be coming back from dinner and starting the late shift. That's usually around between 6:30. So I may have to get my battery backup out. Plan 9 from Outer Space is probably the worst movie ever made. I don't think I've said that. I don't think I've seen that one. It's kind of hard for me to get into the older black and white sci-fi. There's a few I've watched, and I think that title rings a bell. So I may have tried to start it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't finish it. I just watched something that was really good. We got to talking about shows last Saturday night towards the end. That was a fun conversation. It's from Ed Wood. Oh God. I watched the Ed Wood movie that... Oh my God. I just blanked. Johnny Depp was in. I'd put that one off for a while. Oh my gosh. And I know that Johnny Depp can take on a character and do it well. And I don't think he was exaggerating in that movie. I think he got that pretty good from what I heard. But yeah, Plan 9 from Outer Space sounds familiar. I think I tried. We'll see. If I don't see like some more members soon, like before I get the battery back out. But I am getting a lot of, oh, wrong direction. I'm getting a lot of walkers here because it's evening time now. So there's apartments back here, people parked for the day. They're probably coming this way. There's a Target over here for groceries and places to eat. So, or they may be even coming back for, what do they call that? Where you can eat on the campus. Because now they're coming towards campus. Weird kitchen hack. The handle of a hand mixer.
You making a photo?
What?
You making a photo? A movie?
Yeah, I'm live streaming. I'm live. Yeah. I live stream. I'm protesting Scientology because they abuse their members.
You mind if I take a picture?
Sure. You can take a picture.
Is that right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Say hi. What's your name? What's your name? Say hi. Okay. They said hi. They said hi. All right. You have a good day. All right. I'm back on me now. So.
Get it?
Yeah. They said hi.
What it look like? Can I see?
Oh, well, it was here. It's live. It's not a picture. So I can't show it to you until I'm done talking.
You would take a picture.
I can't, because while I'm live streaming, I can't do other things on the phone. So they saw you. They said hi to people watching.
It's all right.
See? Come here. See? Somebody waved. See, these are people that are in here right now. Yeah. See, you're live.
What it look like?
And I'm live. So, because I'm out here for a purpose to talk about the way they abuse their members in here. So, all right. You have a good day.
I want to try.
I'm about done.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Does the link tree work? I didn't think it was working. I need to go in there and fix it. Yeah, he seemed okay. I've learned to try not to give them too much attention. So I turned it back. I'm like, I gotta keep going. There's been early on, I wasn't sure how to work that, and we had a couple people take way too much time. and go off on a tangent about other things. I've seen him go back and forth a few times. About this time of day, I notice looking on your page is hyperlinks. Oh, thank you. I do need to go in there and fix it. I tried to start a Facebook page, and I tried to start a Facebook group. Then I tried to do the link tree, and everything I tried to do wasn't working. And no! Ooh, it went off for a second. Y'all still there? Whoops. I got the circle for a second. Yeah, it's getting a bit late. I haven't seen as many people going down the alley as I do this time of day. We'll see. Thank you. Yeah, I need to do that. Somebody wants me to do PayPal, but we already have a PayPal account on our bank account. So I don't know if I haven't even tried. Will it let me do a second account linked to the same bank account? Maybe somebody more knowledgeable about PayPal could tell me. I can't believe it's still this hot. We were sitting in the house yesterday because we've been waiting for the weather to break so we can get some stuff outside done. We need to paint the house. He needs to fix the roof. We want to start a new roof. We want a metal roof. And we were just waiting on that, and he needs to get his hernia surgery, which he's getting next month. That'll help too. Yeah, I don't know the PayPal stuff either. Because we joined PayPal, like, I think when it started. Like, I think we had PayPal in the late 90s when it was only a bill paying site. Because it eliminated at the time, because our bank couldn't do it. Now banks do the online bill pay, where they'll write the check, put it in an envelope, and mail it. And so I was like, you know what? Because I sent out, we only got once a month pay. We didn't get the middle month pay. So literally, I wrote 14 checks the first of every month for everything. So I joined PayPal, and that's how we paid our bills. And then it evolved. So we've been with them a long time. I was thinking the other day, I probably need to change my password. I take my hat off. It's hot. For some reason, this one doesn't breathe as well. I think the other one has more holes in it. But it needs clean. The one I've been wearing since February, it's gray. It needs a bath. They're both Buckeye hats, though. Sorry, Michigan people. Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging around to see if any more... Oh, here comes a staff member. It's going to be a minute, though. Down the street. Now, the Sea Org was different because I haven't seen them, or if I did, I've only seen them once. So I did yell something. But the staff, they've heard everything I've ever said. If it's somebody I've seen around this whole time, I'm just saying hi to them now. And the older lady that literally used to roll her eyes at me because I would bring up downstat or something like Chico. She smiled at. I was sitting here the other day and I said, hi, how you doing? And I got a little smile. So, keeping them on their toes. Hold on, I need to stretch. I was very into it today. So, I've been here 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it. Because the only reason I wanted to go it's still 6. God, traffic's going to be horrible. Traffic doesn't get better till closer to 7. This is going to be fun. So, I'm going to go ahead and go. I did a lot of talking at the beginning. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, look at the puppy. Hi, how you doing? Pretty doggy. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you what happened. So, I go to my pit stop place, and I take my wagon in, and I park it, and I go to the restroom. I get my bottle of water from them, and I went to the restroom. I come out, and I go to move my wagon, and somebody acted like they were kind of trying to stop me, and I didn't understand. They didn't say, weren't clear. And I just said, excuse me. And as I move out, I look down. There was a puppy under my wagon I almost ran over. Oh my God, he was so cute. He was young. He looks like he might be a medium to big size dog. But he was so soft, and he was just laying there like this. What the heck? Hiding under my wagon. The guy didn't have a leash on him or anything, so he must carry him. So he was not used to people, I could tell. He's probably trying to socialize. His name was Sam. Oh, pretty dog. I was like, almost ran him over. Would have felt so bad. Oh, thanks, Mr. Fraud. I was fired up for a little while. I got upset over Natalie's show on the way here. No more traffic problems. You should travel with a jetpack. I wish. Once I get out of Austin, it's like Austin, then like Georgetown is like the same, and then it's maybe Round Rock is a little, and then there's nothing. There's nothing. There's really nothing until Waco, and that's like 2 hours. I live exactly just about between Austin and Waco, because my husband used to work in North Austin, and it was an hour, and it's an hour where he goes now. But to get down here is a little bit farther, and a few more lights and stop signs. Still here watching you and Natalie at the same time. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was hard to watch. Because I'm driving while I was watching it, and I'm tearing up. Because Natalie was tearing up. So trigger warning, Scooter Mom. Have a tissue. She said she didn't understand why it affected her on the live, and she read it earlier, but she had just talked about something that happened to her too. So I think that's why there was other things involved there. Just got to that part. Yeah, but it was needed. I needed to know, and then I need to go watch. I guess Aaron did a show on a predator that's on a board of something. I just saw the title. I hadn't clicked on it yet. I got to play catch up. So I'm either going to watch that on the way home, or Natalie's show from yesterday on the way home, or both. Depends. I like it when her show's over an hour, because I can usually, it takes most of the drive. But when it's only like 58 minutes, I got to find something that's 20 or more minutes long to finish the rest. So I say watch. I actually just listen. I need a new dash cam. Ours died. The heat killed it. But I noticed you can get these, it's got a dash cam front and back, but it's an Apple player, but you can use Android. It has an Android app, and it has a screen, and you can attach it to your auxiliary, and you can make phone calls through it. You can play music through it, like from YouTube or other music platforms. Because the one thing about this truck, we got it was 6 years old when we bought it at the dealer. It only had 49,000 miles on it. It was in immaculate shape, and we couldn't understand why somebody got rid of it. Unless, first of all, 49,000 miles in 6 years. This was somebody's church vehicle or something. And the only thing we found out later that's wrong with it is the radio. When you're playing the radio or something, it flips to auxiliary and back. And sometimes it'll get stuck on auxiliary and you can't play it. So that's why I started listening to YouTube stuff, because I can't really play music. Even if you put the CD in, it does the same thing. Well, because it wants to go to auxiliary, I'm hoping if we plug something into auxiliary, like the Apple player thing, I won't have too much trouble. And I'll be able to put my maps up there. So what I usually do is I have it on the top of my steering wheel, in front of the glass that covers all your dash stuff. And I have my maps up. I even use my maps on the way home, even though I know where I'm going, because I never know when I'm going to hit an accident and get rerouted. And Tom will call me on my way home, and I can look at it and say, well, my ETA is this. So that thing has saved me a few times. There was a slowdown not too far from my house that I was going to get stuck in, and it took me down this 2-lane country road. It worked. So, yeah, you saw the title of my video, and I said the reason there's no sponsor, anybody that's given gift memberships or given me Cash Apps, I have made them sponsors, but I kind of forgot to do the people that gave memberships, because a 5 thing of memberships minus their 30% just about covers my gas for the trip. So that's why they're going to be the sponsor of one of my trips. So I got to go back. I know there's a way. There's always a way. I just didn't do it before, to go back and look to see who's gotten memberships or given memberships. I know Cup Grimmer, Gary Mackey. I know there's others. And I just... SPTVFoundation.org. It was created by ex-members of Sea Org to help you get out, get an apartment, get a GED if you need it, get a job that you only work 40 hours a week.
Yeah. You're doing great, right?
And a car, sometimes. Exactly, Scooter Mom. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here. I'm not here about that. I'm not here for that. If you go back to my last Saturday night video that I said I won't take sides, somebody either didn't watch my live at all and heard about it, or watched 5 minutes and started going off, because I said things like, if you have one opinion, yelling at someone else about your opinion is not going to change their view. It's not worth it. I learned that being a Christian and watching these mean Christians, that want to yell at you if you're not saved. That's not what Christians are supposed to do. So it's the same thing. And I said and then they repeated it almost word for word, sorry. So then I said, you know what? I said something to the effect of, look, I'm here to get information about Scientology and what they're doing, and I'm not just a supporter in the chat. I'm a protester, activist, and all I don't care if people aren't what they seem online. I don't care. I said, and if something shenanigans are going on with a foundation, the IRS will figure it out. It's not my job. And I'm here to help people get out or not go in. And it was my mission statement. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to worry about what, everybody else is doing. Yeah. What you need?
It is a cult.
Yeah. You know why? The difference between a religion and a cult won't let you leave.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Because the people, she's wearing gold. She's a staff member. She signs a 2 to 5 year contract, but they work 80 to 100 hours a week, and she's supposed to get $200 a week. If you live on $800 a month, but if they don't make money, they don't get paid. But then you have the lower level, because these are the people that don't have money to donate and pay for services, like Tom Cruise, who's a member. The Sea Org members sometimes join as early as 12 or 13. They're taken out of school. They have to live with them. They...
Scientology?
Yeah. Staff members. Yeah. So they're supposed to get $50 a week, which they don't get. And if they don't make money, they get wheat and rice because they won't. They're supposed to feed them. We don't know. I don't know where I don't know if they're living in here. They have an apartment, but in Chicago, they opened by a university too. We know there's 8 people to studio apartments and 3-level bunk beds. And they only have $50 a week to spend on like deodorant, toothpaste. If they don't get paid, they can't buy that stuff.
How exactly do they get paid?
Huh?
How exactly
$100 a week for pocket money. After taxes, it's like $27. Okay. So if you're a public, which means you're going in for services, they don't have a deity. They have to take courses. You pay to go up these confidential levels where you find out stuff that they don't even know. And then you have people that are members that are billionaires given like $100 million. Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson, she's a member. She's given $50 million.
So
that's how they make their money.
Scientology is kind of like a
money-making scheme?
kind of like the Illuminati, but like at a lower level.
Oh, they're not that great. No.
Like at a very low level.
No. The Illuminati is way different. Because they don't have no science. You know who created this religion? L. Ron Hubbard, who was a science fiction writer in the 30s and 40s. And he wasn't making any money. He told somebody the only way to make money is start a religion. He just made stuff up.
So what is Scientology all about?
Like I said, they don't have a deity. They have what they call tech. Okay, the courses. You go in and you do courses and learn. They also have something called auditing, but it's a cross between interrogation and therapy. And you go in, you have to confess everything, and that's why you can't get out, because they know everything about you. And
so they have this big establishment, but like, how can they afford it? Where's all this money coming from?
they have $1 billion. They have $1 billion in offshore bank accounts that even the members don't know, because they're constantly fundraising to the public. So they have what the public who have the money come in and pay for the courses. To go up to confidential levels, it can cost upwards of $100,000 to $150,000. Then they also try to get people like you to come in and buy books and start courses. And if you're too poor to pay for them, then they want to try to sign you up for Sea Org and slave labor. They're told they have 30 million members. They only have 30,000. They had to bring in the Sea Org members. They're not supposed to be Sea Org members here. They only have certain places they're stationed. Just to staff this to open it in February. They have this 50,000 square foot building and literally nobody inside. I see the same 20 public going in and out. So they're not making any money. So that means nobody's getting paid. That's the thing. They close them up in LA doing what I'm doing. And that's when I show up, they close their blinds and doors and nobody can go in and pay them. You can go in and take the personality test. Don't give them your real information. I'm going to leave you alone. Okay. I'm going to stick around, see what happens. Let's see. What were you saying? Hi. You back?
Oh, I'm back.
I feel like this one was the hardest one.
Oh, man, my back is getting me, you guys.
So how much footage do you usually do?
I was about to start to go because I've been here over 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
I do an hour and a half to 2 hours usually. Yeah, and different times a
They
day.
don't pay y'all to do that?
No, I'm doing that myself. You can make money doing YouTube if you have, enough people watching. I've made a little bit with people gifting memberships, and I've had a few people donate on my Cash App. But I live 75 miles from here, so it's 150 miles round trip.
Dang.
So I try to. I'm just very passionate about it.
Will you marry me? Oh my God.
But I came here because of the child abuse inside. There's 200 of us channels now, all working doing the same thing, which is.
Yeah, I saw someone else do it the other day.
Yeah.
The same thing,
There's a few of us. There's 2 more that usually come. They're doing something else right now. So there's a good handful. Yeah.
There's one with that. You can
We're
hear
not
off
allowed to
the
do the bullhorn anymore. They tried to get us for. I never did, but Pearl Snappy did, and they tried to get her for a noise or an ordinance. But she's like me. She can be loud. We don't need a bullhorn. I was yelling at somebody clear on the next block over there, and I know they heard me.
I bet.
Yep. Everybody's agreeing. Yep. Okay. Bye, Fuzzy. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to hang out for a minute because those kids were going to go inside. Let me get my battery back. I'm at 15%. I got to get my battery out. I've already been through 3 bottles of water. But yeah.
You want another one?
No, I still got my cooler.
Okay.
I've had too much.
Go over here and they got place to go food.
I bring a sandwich with me. I'm good.
You have a blessed day.
Woo! I got scared, y'all. It was in the wrong pocket. This is cool. This bag comes with a charger on the outside, but I have to get an adapter. Where is the cord on you? Hello. Okay, got the battery back up. I've been putting it in my pocket because sitting it on here, it falls. I just can't turn around too fast. Let's see, where are we? 100%. So this was my Valentine's present, I think last year? I think. Anyway, my husband loves Olight, and he likes them so much and gets so much. On Mother's Day, I got a free flashlight. They're nice. So this is my battery backup with a flashlight that you recharges. Isn't that pretty? So it does double duty. I like it. And it's really compact too. So yeah, he likes he has a flashlight obsession. Oh, here we go. Hey, Kathy. Coming in late. Yeah. Well, I never know when I'm going to be here. Go back and just watch a few minutes of the beginning because I came in very irate after I watched Natalie's morning thing about, because a lot of people are coming out of the school, I was constantly repeating myself, so it was probably pretty boring for y'all, but it was about the school that allowed that had a child predator, the Delphi Academy in California, and they gave him a glowing review to go to a new school, which sounds like it wasn't Scientology because now he's in prison. Well, one of those kids is suing the Delphi Academy for it. Then I thought it might be the same story, but we figured out we don't think it is. There was a daycare, because the daycare in a school is different. Daycare, I ran a home daycare. During the day, during school hours, my kids were 4 and under. And they had a child predator in this daycare that was ran by a Scientologist. And they transferred him to another school and never told the parents that their kids had been attacked. I heard that story about a year ago. And then I talked about Miriam and her dad and how they cover up. That's why the title of my video is what it is. Probably going to talk about it some more tomorrow night because tomorrow night is graduation and they have a lot of public. And I'm going to bring this up because they can go on YouTube and look, or the internet. So, yeah, you don't have to watch very much of it because I literally repeated myself for like an hour. Well, I was about to go because I've been here almost 2.5 hours. What time is it? I have to leave by 7-ish. Actually, the later I wait, the better the traffic will be. Nothing Scientology does surprises me anymore. Me either. I was upset, but I wasn't surprised. And I know for that one victim, there's many, many, many others. My biggest fear, though, is talking about it so much like we are. There's going to be predators that join Scientology because they know they'll be protected. That's the only thing that really... Early on, I thought that when we first started doing the protesting and all that. And I was like... That's kind of one of the reasons I don't talk about it as much as I probably should. But I'm going to have the same issue tomorrow night during graduation. I'm going to be yelling about it to these people. I usually get this loud, usually just Friday nights because there's a lot more public and I know they're upstairs and I know they can hear me. I don't care how thick that glass is. It would have to be some super duty bulletproof glass for them not to hear me because I got stone building behind me to bounce it off. They'll find ways anyway, no matter what you say or don't say. I know. I know. Normally, I make this bottle of coffee for my ride home, but I'm kind of tired of water. So I make about a half a bottle of cold brew, and my cup is in the car, and the ice is usually still good if I'm not in direct sun. So this is what's been staining my teeth. My teeth didn't look like this a year ago. Yeah, I know. But there's going to be that one or two that hurt us. But, and I was telling the young men earlier, they're like, oh, we need to go in there and do this. And I'm like, no, because the people in there are victims too. This isn't, it is their fault to a point, but it's mostly the leadership's fault. I mean, the people that, especially like the Sea Org and any staff, a lot of if they've been, indoctrinated since they were kids, and they don't know a lot of this stuff. They probably don't believe me. That's why when staff goes by now, staff I know that I've seen the whole time I've been here for many months, I don't even bother anymore. I just say, hi, how are you doing? Because they've heard everything I need to hear. Now, I've been seeing Sea Org, and I think they live down that way because the parking lot is I think the other direction. I'll have to look on a map. But I see them walking down that road, and there's apartments back there. So I thought they were housing them in the org. But why are they going that way then? Because if they're going to go eat, they can walk down the street. There's a new restaurant opening right here. So there's the org, then a coffee shop, then a new place that's opening, then Chipotle, then Sweet Greens, then a couple like coffee shop type cafes, I think, and then the pizza place that I go to, which is called Dollar Slice Club. You pay $5 a month and you get reduced prices, and it literally pays for itself on just my bottles of water. If I get a bottle of water a couple times a week, it drops from $2 something to $1.08. I give them a 50-cent tip because they kind of keep an eye out for my wagon. I take my backpack in that has all the expensive stuff, and I leave the wagon sitting inside there, and I know they would tell me if somebody tried to take off with it. So I give them a tip for that. But you buy 2 slices of pizza and you probably saved your $5. This probably wasn't a good idea. I just thought about it. It's acidic. I'm going to put it away. I got my sandwich. I wonder how long they'll be in there, or if they'll really come back. I keep touching my face. I need to hit the sanitizer again. So I have my phone case is this color, and I ordered this sanitizer thing. It goes on because my phone also has a wallet. So that's all I carry sometimes is my phone with strap. So I got this to hang on it because I'm a germaphobe. I was a germaphobe before COVID. But since COVID, because I have an autoimmune disease, I have to be super careful. So I'm constant. And since I've constantly been doing the sanitizer, like the carts at the store and everything, and I do this when I get in the car on the steering wheel cover because my hubby drives it too. I haven't even had the flu. I haven't had a vaccine either. I haven't had the flu in like 3-4 years. Great idea. Make friends with the places next to the org. Yeah. There we go. I've been talking a lot. I didn't think I would need my bio team here on the corner. I thought I would start seeing like people coming back from, maybe they're coming in the front. You know what? I'm going to go back front because I got to go that way to leave anyway. Let's go back out front. It's kind of dead back here. So hang on, I'm about to move. All right. Once I get turned around, it should be pretty steady. All right, let's go this way. Oh, oh, oh. Alrighty. Oh, it's still on me. Hold on. We don't want to look at the top of my head. There we go. because they probably told him I was on the side. Or it's just dead tonight. Which is even better. I mean, nobody's coming in here for courses. But they might have got the message I was on the side. So let's go mess with them. There was one day I came around the corner and they thought I was gone. They started opening the blinds again, and it was like, oops. What I want to do one day is take a little bit of extra time.
Did you get?
And yep, see, they've opened their door back up. I'm back. The Delphi Academy in California is being sued because they allowed a child predator to attack the children there. And instead of calling the authorities, they gave him a glowing review for the next school who did put him in jail. Somebody turned around and looked at me, so I got a little bit more into it. I thought he was going to come talk to me. Alright. Yep, blind tech activated. That's okay. I'm surprised you don't need to stay that whole time, Scooter Mom. I appreciate it, but you don't have to. I don't think they went in. Because I think they would have come out by now. It's getting pretty dead. Look at this. There's like nobody coming. Nobody coming. I thought I'd see more people going to like dinner and stuff. Alright, I'm gonna go. I don't think they went in. Oh, this is super tall because I had it over there. So thanks y'all for sticking around and room raiding and all that. Their blinds were still down. They just closed the door. They had reopened the door because I was over there. So I at least made him get up and have to work. So, alright you guys, like I said, every time I've said, oh, I'm gonna be here on a certain day, something happens. So, just look out for me. I do like to come on Friday night, but I haven't made it. Okay, Kathy. Yeah, just watch a few minutes. You'll see. I was pretty much what I've already said. So, Keith is live. All right, let's room raid Keith. Go see what he's up to. And I will see y'all later. Have a good weekend if I don't see you again. Saturday night, late night, and Sunday Dianetics. The following Sunday, we're not going to probably be doing Dianetics. I'm trying to plan something with that. So, and get everybody to see if they like that day. So, I will see y'all later. Wow. Where's my X? There it is. So, it's always right by the camera. How do I do this? I can't do it without you seeing my finger.